Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the season-ending B Team episode. We got the whole B Team here with the mashup of the B Team and Scared Money Don't Make Money. We were initially planning on doing our wrap-up of the season and the wrap-up of the semifinals and do our final picks for the year. Obviously, there's some major news that I'm sure will be talked about as we go, but first I do want to thank each and every one of you for... Hey, Alex got a haircut. That a boy. See, he's not wearing a hat. He's so proud of it. He's not wearing a hat to show.
No, I said Chad got a haircut. That's the breaking news.
Chad,
I didn't.
That's the news.
I always tell my barber I get a haircut once every 3 months, whether I need it or not.
That's right.
I'm wearing a hat. How would you know if I had a haircut? It just looks greasy.
Chad, you never just make a joke.
Anyways,
why are we talking about my hair?
Anyways, it just lost all of it. We're off to a hot start. We are the B Team as always. Thank you for joining us on the JI FaceTube, YouTube, Internet, XTV, all that stuff. No, thanks for joining us on the Jackrabbit Illustrated Facebook and Twitter, as well as the FCS Fans Nation YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're listening late on the podcast, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we really appreciate our title sponsors here at Jackrabbit Illustrated, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. Kubota Dealers South Dakota. There's 10 locations across the great state of South Dakota near you. You can stuff those ballot boxes there to get Chad voted as the head coach for the Jackrabbits.
People that didn't see my tweet last night have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, go to Twitter. You'll figure it out. If you don't, well, then them's the breaks. I think everybody ends up missing a joke here and there on this show anyways. But as always, Kubota Dealers South Dakota, they've got high quality equipment. You won't need service often, but if you knew they've got parts and service as well as any type of attachment or equipment you may need for your home, farmstead, or acreage. So get down and get yourself into some orange equipment today. Thank you so much for being our partner for all these years, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. We really, really appreciate it. And as always, we are the B Team. Brought to you, the show sponsor is going to be a dueling banjos situation since we're a mashup. So we are, as always, brought to you by Culver's of Brookings and Watertown as one of our show sponsors. Culver's Brookings Watertown, better brand of beef, makes a butter burger better. And Culver's, it's delicious. Saw Corey Mensch went out, tried the beer cheese, and he's in love, obviously. He has other bad opinions, but I'll give him that one. That's a good opinion. Culver's Brookings Watertown, they are the place to go and get yourself some Scoopy tokens if you want to make your buddy's bet really difficult to pay off for the season. And I have a bet idea for finishing off Alex, which will be brought up later. It's pretty great. Well, if I do say so myself. No pause.
How far do we want to get into that or not? Just because I do have a sick kid, so I just might disappear at some point.
Well, then we got to get into it right away. But we got to do our other show sponsor since this is a mashup. So our other show sponsor is Cubby Sports Bar and Grill of downtown Brookings. Cubby Sports Bar and Grill. You've got like 1 day left of the J.I. Italian nachos. We will be making our donations for the match on the pictures here. Chad already made his. Alex already made his. I will be making mine tomorrow.
I haven't made mine yet. I was saying.
Then Alex has not made it, and then
what are we up to?
Will be added to the total for Mark, because we're still going to send him out a champion, by God.
Yes, I'm going to put the 100 in regardless.
I just put the 100 in regardless.
Yeah, we're putting in the 100. I don't know what the picture
it was 100. There was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was many much. There's many much.
BT I don't know if you get
rises again.
1 per guy, but Jim must have had 6 himself.
Right. I don't think we put limitations on it, and that's all right.
We did not.
So there should be a big hefty dose of money coming in from all of our pledges. We got to that. So if you pledged with us, time to pay the piper, baby. So that's what we're going to do. Donate and defeat childhood cancer. And if you want one more chance to be against childhood cancer, you still have an opportunity to donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand. You can do it any day of the year. But this year, right now, it's going towards Mark, the captain 11, winning the Alex's Lemonade Stand Challenge. So dump it in while you can, or you can be for childhood cancer. I mean, that's up to you. I guess I can't. It's America. It's a free country. You can be for childhood cancer if you want. But since we're getting into it, and we don't have a lot of time with Alex because he's got sick children.
Well, I don't know. He might sleep tonight, but I'm just saying I could have to disappear at any moment. It is an unknown.
Okay. Then I have a disclaimer, and then I want to get into my idea for Alex's punishment, because as everybody knows,
Well, your disclaimer?
yeah, I have a disclaimer just for this show in general.
All right. Well, so should I get rid of this
Probably.
document that I have?
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so we did text about this. We had almost a pre-show meeting of sorts. Yeah, burn it.
I wasn't involved.
No. Well, I can't use it?
Nope.
Okay,
I mean,
give your
you
disclaimer
do what
then.
you will. You're a free man. In
The
all
real head
seriousness,
coach is the friends we made along the way.
That's right. The real head coach is the friends we made along the way. We know we're going to be getting these questions a lot throughout the show. What have you heard? Who's going to be the coach? Who's all leaving? Yada, yada, yada. Unless it's posted to Twitter or we've been given express permission and triple verified that it is accurate, we do not share information. We do not hear what we've heard. Things you hear change all the time. The deeper your info goes that you get it, the faster it changes, it seems. So we're not out here. We don't need our ego boosted to be the first people to break news. Thank you to everyone who's started following us after this whole saga has started. And definitely follow us, because if we tweet that something's happening, it is happening. We can promise that. Because even if you are sure, sometimes you're wrong. We thought Wildy was going to Louisville, and things changed. So I just wanted to put that out as a disclaimer. So if somebody's saying, what are you guys hearing? What are you guys hearing? We're hearing exactly whatever you've seen on Twitter, probably, but we will deliver what we've heard on Twitter.
Just
through verified sources.
We knew, like, the tweet Zim put out today, like 10 minutes. We were texting about it, then all of a sudden Zim put it out. So I promise you, if we have anything, we're not that inside to where it's not going to be public knowledge 15 minutes later.
Right.
Fine.
We're not that special. So, but okay, so everybody want to hear my idea for the punishment, and then we can all vote if we like it, since everybody's really, really excited for the mayoral candidacy. And as we have discussed prior, that's not going to work for Alex since he is the loser. He opened his big mouth and decided to put his butt on the line twice, and he will be the first Scared Money Don't Make Money winner and loser. So, I mean, a date that will go down in infamy. Congratulations, Alex. But he can't run for mayor for 3 years, so we're going to have to hold off on that punishment, because I don't feel like waiting for 3 years for a payoff on a joke. So I had this idea with a buddy of mine, Tommy, as we were driving up to Fargo.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
It's
yeah.
It's going to be painful. Yeah. I think that Alex needs to do a calendar shoot, and he's going to have to release the photos. Yeah, sexy calendar shoot. Not serious sexy. I don't want to see like some burlesque Alex here. I want goofy.
Like, satirical sexy.
Yeah, satirical sexy Alex photo shoot. I'm even willing to throw some money in for the photographer to do it properly.
Oh, God. Sure.
And I think it'd be fantastic. And then if we really want to, we could make it so that you release one photo per month.
Go on.
Yes.
I'm gonna have
on board.
3 kids by this time next year, and it's gonna be all your fault.
It's not our problem, though.
I was gonna make a baby oil joke, but I think we're gonna. That's not today's.
Well, they put the drugs in the baby oil. Watch out.
No R. Kelly.
We're not gonna R. Kelly him. P. Diddy, whatever.
Stop going.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, everybody loves it. Yes, calendar fundraiser for NIL, Pat. I love it. There we go.
That's a great idea. We'll have to get a license through SDSU, but yeah, I think we can do it.
Get the SD shaved into Alex's chest hair if he has enough.
The stretch.
No, we don't need.
Not
Go ahead.
Save it for the calendar.
See what
Do it.
happens. I
We'll
need
put it
someone
on
to
the
take my
calendar.
place
It'll
on the JIAI.
Where you're pulling it down.
Yeah, I need a replacement. Oh,
I like it.
no. We're not that
I had a
cruel,
bunch
Zach.
of notes. Oh, well.
With that, we don't really need to recap the semifinals, do we? I mean, we can if we want to.
I mean,
I had some
got notes
NDSU
if you
friends
want
who were
'em.
looking.
Looking for some
They all
recap.
feel kind of irrelevant at this point. Like
They
what's
are-
that recap going to mean?
I've never seen a team so in their feelings about a game they won. My gosh. Or a fan base, I should say. The
Have you met the
team
Bison
was-
fans?
whatever, but
I mean, it was a big win. Tough fought
Yeah.
game.
that's what I mean though. Like they were like pissed at us and calls and stuff in the game they won. It's like you won, who cares?
Oh yeah, you're saying worrying about stuff that
that's
shouldn't
normal.
matter when you win. I got you. I thought you were saying just being excited about the win.
No, I get that. Yeah, we've talked some crap the last 5 years. They earned just every right to throw it back. Our face was like, oh, but this happened. Oh, that Wildy catch on that drive, which would have stood under replay anyhow, is Anyway.
Well, I talked about this with Borg. If you aren't getting that sort of response out of the NDSU fan base, they are not concerned about you beating them. They used to do it all the time with UNI back when UNI was the only team that would beat them. They did it with James Madison. They've done it with us. You don't see them doing that with Illinois State, right? Like that's how you know your program's doing something right, is if that's how they act. And all of a sudden, Stig wasn't dirty until all of a sudden we started beating them in the market.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a coincidence. All of a sudden now all NDSU fans think he's dirty. Like it's just a reflex with how that is, and it's fine. It just, because here's the deal: you can argue with them until you're blue in the face, but if you actually believe you're going to change hearts and minds up there, you're like, they're not going to change my heart or my mind on an argument. So why would I believe that I'm going to change their opinion?
Yeah, I mean that game, it really the issue with the offense that we talked about a lot of the year showed up, where we were reliant on the big play and we just didn't get the big play. We got ourselves into way too many third and longs. That one, the touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, I mean, Mark was Mark. He had some clutch throws and he got us into the right position. But against a good team like NDSU, you just can't get yourself in that many bad positions. And we did, especially in that third quarter.
No, and I didn't
Go
mean to cut your thought off, Ben, but I was already on the fence how much I was going to talk about it, because we try to be, fairly positive and team friendly. But we were talking about it in the group chat, and even after the fact, is our offensive play calling in the third quarter on first and second down was terrible. It was horrible. And then is like, in light of recent events, like, well, how sour grapes do I want to be? Oh, who cares? Those guys are leaving. They're not that good of coaches anyhow. And that's not what I'm saying. They are good coaches. Washington State's going to be lucky to have them. But that was, I think, having young, inexperienced play caller, and I've seen a lot of people talk about that. The one thing I haven't seen, once again, not trying to be sour grapes, already was planning on talking about this a little bit, but at a certain point, Jimmy, as the CEO and game manager, he's no longer calling the defense down to down. At what point, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, do you get on the headset and say, hey, stop running the effing ball on first and second down? It is not working, and we're in third and long every time.
Right.
But anyhow,
I sorry. I was of the belief that when we did what we did at the end of the first half, at first I was all for it. And then we ended up taking the knee, and I was like, well, that's it. We just gave up the game. There was no killer instinct there. And Brendan probably disagrees with me and would have an argument with me in the stands about it. But you know how I feel about shit like that.
Actually, Chad, I don't disagree with you on that game as a whole. It again felt like they were coaching not to the plays were being called not to lose is what it felt that whole game for a second time. But there's a couple major things for me. The fumble completely, if you were in that stadium, like that touchdown that we had before the fumble was like you drug their mascot into the middle of the field and shot him. Like it was depressed, and they were like, oh God, and it was over. And then that fumble happens, they score a touchdown, and now you're in a dogfight. And then play calling wise, it was like we were locked in that we had to prove that we were the more physical team. So we just kept running it in between the tackles and power over and over and over and over when it wasn't working. It just wasn't. And they did it over and over and over and bashed their head against the wall, which I think is a huge reason that we end up losing because NDSU took bigger swings. And the other thing is, here's the plain truth of the matter. Nobody made the big difficult play when it needed to be made.
Right.
And I don't
not to single out a person.
Yeah, I don't want to single out individual players, but there was a play to a receiver going across the field where the guy it's a lower throw, it hits him, the defender comes across and hits him and makes contact and jars the ball loose. You have to make that catch in this game. It's a difficult, and it's something we talked about all year where Ben, I think we can hear you, the boys behind you.
100%.
But nobody stepped up and made the big play. The ball was in. I get it. Mark wasn't deadly accurate the entire game. He missed a lot of check downs in the flats and stuff.
But when it counted,
when you needed the ball, he made that ball happen, and we didn't make the play, and that's the difference in that game. 110%. NDSU made phenomenal, and I don't care what you think if he bobbled the ball or not on the one-handed catch and Bryce Lance in the end zone.
Hell of a play.
It upheld as a touchdown, and it's a hell of a play whether he bobbles it or not, and it was good enough that it was ruled a touchdown.
After being ruled not a touchdown.
Right. They made the big plays when they needed to, and we didn't. And that's what it boils down to. That's what that game always boils down to. And we just didn't make the play when it had to be made.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, and again, like I mentioned,
you're really loud.
You're hot, boy.
It's so hot. Your mic is so hot. It's probably
I didn't change anything.
Boys, I don't know. It's super hot.
Yeah,
it was like you're like screamed into my ear and started yelling at me.
Is this okay?
A little better.
It's still loud. Back up. Yeah. Have you tried backing up?
We're gonna
you hear me now.
Yeah, I hear you great from all the way back there. That sounds normal.
I'm guessing it adjusted from them talking, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it goes back to, like I said, the not being able to make the big plays and NDSU making big plays, and like we said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you.
If you don't misbehave, he's going to yell more.
Right.
Yeah. But back to
what's going on? Chad's got a soundboard.
It's not me.
That was also my child. I got problems with it.
Not me.
Anyway,
wow, this is just straight garage time. That's what we should have called this episode.
This is a train wreck.
God, we are a disaster.
Yeah, go to the next room. Yeah, it's real easy to pick up my whole setup and go to the next room. Anyway,
but have you tried it?
Yeah. So that sucked. Do we want to make predictions for the title game, and then we can move on to what everyone's probably here to talk about? Or
sure.
We
gotta get your picks out of the way in case the baby wakes up.
Hey,
Joey, that's what I like to hear, baby.
Joey B. So if you haven't yet,
we will get into that. Yeah,
I retweeted it, but just to peek ahead, Podfather on top of stuff as he always is, already has a tracker for who has said I'm returning, who said I'm leaving.
Yep.
So check that out. Joey, thank you for returning yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
anyhow, here we go. Jim, on top of it, as always, link in the chat. So, yeah, Montana State jumped out to an early lead on USD. USD tried to come back and pooped all over themselves like 3 or 4 different times. Okay, that game's reviewed. Montana State versus NDSU. I think it's going to be a really good game, actually. I think Montana State's offense is going to give them an edge. Ben, last line I saw is 3.5. Is that still the case?
That is correct.
So model says Bobcats by 0.42. So it's going to take the Bison to cover. But I'll disagree. I would take the Bobcats all the way up to 5, I think. I just don't know that NDSU can play enough defense. That's not to say they have a bad defense. I mean, they held us to 21, and our offense was pretty good this year. But I just don't see how they can contain that Montana State offense for 4 quarters.
What's the line?
3.5.
The line from Ben, 3.5. Okay.
So there's my picks.
I am going to go ahead and take NDSU in this one. I've seen this show before. I do think Montana State has more than a puncher's chance in this game. I think they're more than creative enough to. I don't think our offense was super creative this year, and I think Montana State is more than creative enough to see what other teams did, because other teams were able to run on NDSU. And I don't think it's a coincidence that SDSU wasn't, and it wasn't that SDSU was bad at running the ball. I think they were very predictable, and NDSU knows exactly how SDSU runs the ball, and they were lined up for it. That being said, it's NDSU in the title game. Only one team has beat them in the title game. I would love to believe that Vegan and company. I want Montana State to win. Montana State fans, I want you to win. I can't abide NDSU winning another one. It's bad enough as it is around here. But I will be there. I'll be there. So if you're going to Frisco, I know like Seth Meyer saw he's going, Jim Poppins going, Chad's going, bunch of our other friends are going down there, Jack's fans. If you're going down, hit me up. We'll meet up for a drink somewhere or something. If I'm not, I will do the best I can to respond. If I don't, I apologize. Sometimes I'm running around and then don't check my phone or forget to respond to messages. That being said, I'm going to take NDSU in this one. They've been there too many times compared to Montana State. Montana State's only been there once. Polasek he is able to imbue that team with that old NDSU energy in the playoffs. And it's not a heart pick because I don't want NDSU to win. This is just a gut pick. My head says Montana State should win, but my gut just tells me NDSU with the extra preparation time is going to be able to cause problems.
So what was your official pick?
NDSU.
Plus 3.5. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I will take Montana State minus 3.5. I think that they are the real deal. I think their offense is very, very good, and I don't think that NDSU is going to be able to keep up or slow them down enough. So I will take Montana State to win by 7-10. Kevin's got ideas.
I don't. Spearmint Rhino.
That wasn't when I clicked. It moved as I clicked.
That happens all the time.
This is what I was clicking. It does happen all the time.
I do expect to catch copious amounts of crap no matter which fan base I see down there, and that's fine. It's going to be fun. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I think it'll be a good game for a bit, but I think unless, knock on wood, something happens to Tommy Millard, I think that he's got what it takes, and he'll lead him to victory.
Yeah. So Do we want to go on to what everybody's all here for?
Probably.
Probably. We've drugged this out enough. Obviously, we are.
Minutes yet.
But first, brought to you by Blue Tag Car Wash.
Attaboy.
JIAI.
There it is. There he is. Yeah. We have JIAI. This is a mashup show. Do we have JIAI?
Well, he sounded like he had
Yeah, we do.
JI or
Jeez,
AI
wait.
earlier.
Sorry.
Hammering
I was trying to put him on the
desk
spot. I didn't think we actually had any.
I was
Easy.
texting my child.
God, that's loud.
I don't know what to do here. I'll just talk
No,
quietly.
it's just when you hit the mic or the desk.
Yeah, you were hitting the desk, and we could literally hear the springs in your stand echoing. That's how
That's
sensitive your
No
mic
joke,
is right
no
now.
joke.
I'm sorry. I don't
It's
know what to do with my
amazing.
hands.
I don't know what to
Anyway,
do with my.
It's not the first time.
We've got the old Hello Darkness, my old friend.
Hello, darkness, my
Is
old
that
friend.
SDSU fan sad about the game, or is it Alex sad about his punishment? We'll never know.
A double AI. I love it.
And then I think we should print shirts of this. Obviously not AI. I created this myself, but this can lead us into the next conversation. But I think that, with Jimmy leaving and a lot of coaches leaving, the one thing that we can lean on is Justin Sell. He's led us to a lot of great things at SDSU in the athletic department, and I think that there's nobody better to take this program and keep it going. So that's all I got.
Facts. Hey, it was quick, but I'll take it.
Yep.
Nothing. Go on. Continue.
That's all I got for JAI. But as far as Jimmy leaving, I guess number one, I'd like to say that to all the fans that are like upset and saying that he should have had more loyalty or whatever. No, miss me with that. I don't care how much your company has done for you. If some other company offers you 5 times the money, you're leaving. That's it. Like, there's no questions about it. And so you can't blame him for making the move. And any coaches going with him, they're probably going to get pretty good increases too. And so, at the end of the day, you got to be happy for the guys. They did great things for SDSU, and now they're going to go make a bunch of money for it, and good for them. So, there's not a lot you can do about that. Yeah, Quentin's right. Money talks. And so just wanted to say that to that message to any SDSU fans that are upset about it.
15 years to make the same money here?
Right. Well, and every one of his coaches is going to get a similar factor raise, and staff. It sucks to lose all of the staff and everything, and I get it, and I get the emotion. It's not like we don't feel that emotion too, guys. We absolutely feel the gut punch of it as much as anybody. But it's you just gotta kind of tip your hat and appreciate the 20 years he did give to SDSU, and wish him the best in his future. I hope he does well. He's probably going to take some guys. He's probably going to take some recruits. But as we saw earlier, there's for all the panic initially, there's a lot of dudes staying, and a lot of the big guys, Quentin Christensen, Chase Mason, that you need to stay are staying, and they're rallying the troops, and it's weird. I feel the same confidence in this situation that I felt in NDS up in Fargo in like 2022 when I was sitting next to Chad. I'm like, we're fine the whole game, and there was really no reason to feel that way during that game, but I just felt that way. I did not feel that way during any of the games this year, for those who are wondering, but I got that feeling right now about the program and how things are going to go with Sell and everything else making the choice. I have a lot of confidence in what's been built. how desirable the job is, the resources available, the quality of kids on the roster today, the culture that is there. And with all these guys staying, that tells you that the culture, how strong the culture for SDSU is. Because it's pretty rare. Yes, guys are jumping, some guys are going in the portal and everything, but I mean, like you look at like what happened to Idaho and Eklef, the entire roster was on the portal. And I mean, huge props to the culture and brotherhood between the players that are staying around and everything. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's at the end of the day, even with Jimmy and either most or all of the staff leaving, SDSU is still a premier FCS program. SDSU still has the best facilities in the FCS and some of the best financial backing in the FCS and some of the best fan support in the FCS. And so it's going to be a prime position for any FCS coach or any coach looking to coach at the FCS level. And so we're in a very good position. And I think that's being shown, like you said, in a lot of the players deciding to stay, is that, we're still in a really good spot. And whoever we end up getting as a head coach is going to be really, really good. And they're going to surround themselves with a really good staff. And the whole program is going to be, it's going to be in a good spot. And so, yeah, I mean, it's easy to hang your head and everything, but you have to kind of take a step back and realize where we're at.
If I could jump, you have something, Brendan?
Jump, my friend.
So just address a couple comments here. By that token, referring to Jimmy leaving, shouldn't have Mark left. Mark would have had every right to have left last year, and that's not that's not a fair expectation to put on other people. Every person has to do what's right for their family and situation.
Yeah.
And on that token, we were put it up, but then go and listen to Mark on the Nate Brown show today if you haven't yet. He was very thoughtful as always. I saw Deb like the show. We've said it a million times, but Deb, Ray, you guys are raising an amazing young man. We're all fortunate for getting to be a small part of his life and getting to watch him play football.
And
so then
all you guys too.
Yep.
I'm
gonna miss you guys around here.
Yeah, please don't be strangers. I hope we'll see you at a game here or there still, even if it's not everyone, obviously. Then the other thing I was gonna add, so Dallas was going through the numbers. He asked me to Ron. Dallas asked me to put together, with all the people jumping in the portal with the new roster limits and rules and stuff, what percent are not going to find a home? And I was shocked when I actually put pen to paper and calculated it out quick. 75% of the kids, Division I, FBS, and FCS, will either, and it's not going to be quite that high because some of these coaches are not going to backfill with high school recruits. They're going to use the portal instead. But if you assume they're using normal recruiting classes, 75% of Division I recruits are either portal players are going to be without a home or moving down a level next year because of the new roster restrictions. So with that said, I'm not saying if any of our guys are listening or thinking about it, I'm not saying you guys can't go. Like I just talked about, replying to Pete's comment, you have to do what's right for your family and your situation. But like Jim's saying, be smart. Make sure you got your ducks in a row and you know what's going on before you get in there. And the other piece I was going to add, do we want to do just like a quick high level where things currently sit with what has been kind of discussed today with the coaching search?
I just wanted to mention that in Mark's comments, he said that there was going to be some big time players staying, and that has been proving to be true. We love you too, Deb. Deb says we love you guys, SCSU family. We love you guys so much. But I really, But yeah, Mark on his interview said a lot of guys would be staying, and more than you think. And with all the panic that was initially said of 40 plus guys and things, and that's where, I mean, Alex must have a baby waking up, so he's off. But that goes to show you, don't panic right away. I'm sure Justin Sell, I'm sure he met with the players. I know some former players talked to him and things like that. And I think the general message is you had to have gotten from, if your Sell is, look at our other programs too. It's the same type of guy that you're hiring, Damian Hahn and on down the line,
and Hendo,
those kind of coaches. That's what it is to be a Jackrabbit. And I think he said, hey, we got a plan in place. We will get things together, because you got to trust, like Ben, you said, you got to trust and Sell. He's always said he's got a list of coaches if someone leaves quick. And Daryl England says Mark also contacted SDSU players and encouraged them to wait until a coach is selected before jumping, because that's the other smart thing to do. If you're a player, you've got 30 days. So you want to meet the head man first, right? You don't want to be stuck out in the portal and then the new guy gets there and then you look around and, well, you're not there, so he fills your spot and then you're stuck in the open. Wait till the new guy's there and then have a plan. If you just knee-jerk jump into the portal, like Alex said, with all those numbers right now, I believe Sam Herder tweeted there's over 1,100 FCS players in the portal, and 200 of them have a home. That's it. 200. That you really, and I'm not saying don't transfer if you want to. I'm saying have a plan, because the thing that would make me feel the worst is seeing a bunch of guys transfer and then not able to continue their dreams of playing college football. That would be the worst. And missing out on a scholarship and the education and everything else. It's not, I mean, obviously we'd love all these guys to stay Jackrabbits and everything, but in the end, it's about these guys being able to have an opportunity to play football, earn a degree, and advance in life into whatever that may be, whether it's the NFL on down to having a degree in being an engineer. So, I'm glad a lot of guys are waiting first.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely tough out there for transfer players right now. And like you said, you might as well wait and see who SDSU gets. To Alex's point, I think Zimmer put it out. A couple other people I know reported it that Dan Jackson is getting interviewed, and Christian Smith is getting interviewed, and one other
unknown candidate at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that has been reported, and we know, and I think that I would be ecstatic about either of the two names that have been mentioned getting hired.
And then you get a trust Sell on the third.
Yeah, and I'm sure the third one is a good option too. But yeah, I mean, go ahead.
And I hope and I trust Sell won't. I trust Sell, someone like Sell, and he's made decisions, high level decisions for basketball, things like that, on who the next coach should be, and not listen to public sentiment. So, because let's be honest, all of us in the public, we think we know, but we don't know, sort of thing. So I hope he makes the best decision, what he feels is right, based off of his knowledge. As much FCS football and everything that I'm immersed in throughout the year, I would not want me picking the next head coach for the Jackrabbits, because even if you think you don't know, because that pool is a lot deeper than you think.
Yeah.
So I just hope Sell doesn't let any external opinions change his mind off of whatever he thinks is right.
Right. The one thing that I did want to touch on too is that it stinks that Jimmy's leaving, and one thing that he brought to the table that I I hope we don't see leave with him is just I think it's the defensive attitude that we saw him bring, and that that it was just different when, and I think it started when he became the full defensive coordinator, and then definitely when he was the head coach. Is that the team just had a different attitude to him, that they it was it was just different than the Steg era, and I think that it's something that you need. It's a type of attitude you need to have real sustained success and make sure that you're having focus on every single game. And we don't have. That's one thing that Jimmy we didn't have is just the letdown game, and we had that before him, and it just wasn't a thing when he was around. And so that's something that that I hope that the next coach keeps in SDSU football, because I think it's imperative to the success of the program.
Yeah, and we got to be honest too. Each team has a different personality based off their coach a little bit.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
I really hope the defense stays at the level that it was with Jimmy, but that is a ridiculous bar.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, but
performance-wise, but I'm saying just at least attitude-wise. I mean,
physicality, the way guys rally to the football,
the
effort stuff.
Right. Yep. That's a huge deal. And I was told by a friend whose friend's kid was getting recruited out of Iowa, way down in Iowa. They couldn't believe how locked in, because they came for the Murray State game and then they went to a UND game and an NDSU game. They could not believe how locked in the team was for Murray State. Like they said it was like they were playing the semifinal that game. They were that locked in. There was no joking around, horsing around. They were there to win that game, and that's the way it was. And to be honest, I think with the core of guys who are staying, I think that also carries over with the players, right? I think the players that you have aren't going to let that go away. I think those guys know the culture, know the standard, and will continue to strive to uphold that no matter who the coach is.
Yeah, I would think that standard would stay even when Jimmy leaves. As far as the players, one of the bigger announcements that just came in the last, I don't know, hour or so is Chase Mason announced he was coming back, which is huge. I think we're all excited to see what an SDSU offense looks like led by him. We were spoiled by Mark for 4 years. Was it 4 years?
He was here for 5, but
he's here for 5, but hurt
played
for 1.
4.
Yep.
And so he's got a ridiculously big shoes to fill, and I think that he's a little different player. So I mean, you can't expect him to be the same as Mark, but Chase just brings some different stuff to the table, and excited to see him stay committed to the program. And I think his leadership will see a lot of other players stay on board too. A guy that I was disappointed to see is Ostrowski, the guy we were going to get from Tulsa. Mentioned he's back in the portal. I would hope that once a head coach gets named, that he reaches out, and we could potentially see him recommit to SDSU, because he was a real exciting player that we were excited to watch in Brookings. But
I think you nailed it when you said leadership. The leadership we're seeing out of the locker room right now is incredible with the guys. And I think that is with Chase Mason and Quentin Christensen, your next crop of leaders coming through, and how excited they are to be staying. And I think that's a testament to Mason McCormick and Mark Gronowski and the impact they've had on this program, and have passed down, and your Tucker Crafts and things like that they've passed down to this current group of Jackrabbits. And that is such a good sign for the future, to have those guys stepping up and making a decision and leading within the group. And that is such an awesome sign for the future.
well, and something I was gonna kind of roundabout, but gonna touch on and talked about the 1 year Mark wasn't here and Chris Oladokin and how much he, because of the culture we have here, was able to just buy in right away. And this, if you follow his Twitter still at all, this was more his home than the places he played 2 years in Sanford and South Florida. That guy considers himself a jackrabbit through and through, and he is. I mean, I don't know that we could have had a better situation for that 1 year. And when it comes to, like I said, the culture, bringing in a coach, I think this will extend to that.
Yes, absolutely. Carter points out Bryce Hawthorne is a big loss, and that there's no way to disagree with that. He's a beast. He's a stud. We were really excited.
Young up and coming player, but he's got to do what's right for him.
He's got to do what's right for him. Are the odds high that he stays? Probably not, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Some of these guys that jump in end up staying in Brookings. That's a real possibility once the new staff gets put in place, which should be fairly soon.
Wednesday is like what Zim said.
Multiple week timeline. Yeah, if I look at his tweet here, it went away. Son of a buck.
It sounds like they might have an interview or two to do tomorrow. So
right, yeah, decision planned by Wednesday. So, Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, maybe into Wednesday afternoon. Who knows? I'm sure they're going to want to set things up, press conference and things like that. I'm also sure the news will probably break whether they want it to or not before then.
Never does,
but I'm sure if SDSU had their way, nobody would even know who's being interviewed right now. And besides maybe the players, and then we'd just all find out together at a press conference. I think that's the way most of those organizations want it. But I think this is too high profile of a job for that to work out.
It's not real life anymore.
That in South Dakota is one big small town. Like, people know who people are when they walk across campus.
Mm-hmm.
That, and two of the guys being here formerly. Oh, I saw Christian's car on campus today. I saw Dan's car on campus. A little bit of hyperbole there, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, not wrong there. Ben, you look like you got something to say.
I was just going to let people know that there was a tweet about that a coach had been hired, but that was not real. I
thought it was obvious it wasn't real. That's why I retweeted it. And someone's like, don't retweet that. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It was a part of a set of fake accounts. So, yeah.
So I made this one.
Don't trust everything you see on the internet.
Yeah. Remember, it's the internet. Whatever you hear, my brother's cousin is friends with the AD, and he told me that's probably not true. I mean, they might get lucky on accident, but we don't know until you don't know until you know. And until that point, when it's being put out by good, reliable, triple check people like Zimmer and or who knows? Maybe they throw us a bone and go, you know what, you guys get to announce it. Then I highly, highly, highly doubt that. But who knows? Maybe they do. But until you see it from somewhere really trustworthy, I wouldn't get too excited.
If it comes from us, it's probably going to come from the JI account.
Mm-hmm.
JIAI.
Yeah, well, JIAI, that. Oh, now it's not happening.
Should we add the music to it, Brendan? We'll just, if it's going to be official, we'll just do this.
Right.
Breaking news.
President
Jimmy Carter died.
Right.
There actually was a fire downtown Brookings today. It was kind of a sad deal.
Yeah, that was sad. Adam Harms says coming back out of the portal doesn't guarantee scholarship revocation, right? That's correct. The school can honor it if they still have the scholarship available. Haven't filled it.
Yep.
Because if you say you're moving on, then there's a potential that the team goes, okay, you're moving on. So we need to fill this spot. There's only so much time. reality is it. This is this is an opportunity. There is potential for the program to become even better. Jimmy was an incredible coach. He was a fantastic coach. The staff was a great staff. But I mean, reality remains, there was things in the marker game, things like that didn't go so great. We don't know. You could hire the next Chris Kleiman. I mean, you don't know with how hot this job is. You could really get some outstanding coaching talent in here, and it could end up better than before, and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the way that dynasties like NDSU are built is from really successful coaches like Jimmy moving on, and then being a high-profile FCS program that gets another really good coach in, and then he does great things, and then he moves on, and it just keeps going. And so for all the people, some people said, well, geez, man, season ticket sales are going to be down next year. And it's like,
they might.
Why? But
yeah, I don't know if
my point is, I don't think they will, but my point is why? Like, if you're ever going to support the program, now's the time. If you ever want to make sure, try to help the program stay at that high level, now's the time. And so I guess my point is, just because Jimmy's leaving doesn't mean SDSU's fallen off. And like Brendan said, it's an opportunity to, keep it going or do even better.
And, to me, I don't understand that. Oh, well, season ticket renewals are going to be down. Why? This will be the most fascinating SDSU series season in, I don't even know how long. I mean,
2019.
After
Ted Christian graduated.
Right. And I don't even know if this qualifies because Stig was still there. Stig was still there. And, there's going to be so many questions. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. And it's kind of sick to think, but like, I miss that like nervousness. Like,
a little bit. Yeah. What's the team going to look like this year?
So many games this year where I was like, well, we're probably going to win by 40.
The last 4 years, 5 years, really.
Exactly. And like next year, maybe it won't be like that. I don't know. I mean, at a minimum, we won't know what we're getting. There'll be a bunch of new players, new coaches. It's going to be exciting. So, in my opinion, season ticket sales should go up.
Honest to God, that's how I feel. I'd be like, oh, these are even. Let's really see what's going on. I honestly don't. Yeah, I don't see why they would drop. And man, I think it'll probably be the most attended spring ball in years, right?
So I got a problem, Ree.
Yeah. Is she trying to diagnose you with an issue there or something?
Yeah. Oh, it's already been diagnosed.
He likes a little bit of controversy.
Has she diagnosed all of us yet, or
we should have her on?
I figure I'm not hard to
group
figure
therapy
out.
Session. That'd be great.
Hey, I'm not a complex man.
I'm not either.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, to me, this is all exciting. Damien says the Valley was definitely down this year. Hopefully it'll be better next year. I do think it'll be better next year.
Illinois State was pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
So was Youngstown.
Youngstown was a little bit.
Yeah.
Southern Illinois, disappointing.
Well, they lost like
that was
40 guys. You can't really blame them too much.
Still disappointing.
Hey, maybe Nick Baker's the mystery coach that we're in hiring.
Stone Labanowitz.
God. That'd be wild.
Stone has
got eligibility now. He might be quarterback.
Yeah, but the JUCO rules. Stone has a year.
I thought about that. What if you bring in Nick Baker?
Nick Baker would be out of left field, but I wouldn't hate it.
I've always thought he was a pretty good coach.
Nick Hill.
Whatever.
Sorry, Nick Hill.
I got confused. You guys started talking quarterbacks, and
that's my fault. That's my fault.
I was thinking, no, I said it first. That's my bad.
I think Nick Hill would be a good hire. He would be completely out of left field, but it'd be a good hire.
Ree wants to do group therapy on the pod
did
live.
She learn how to spell from me or what?
Oh,
is whiskey allowed?
Please let me do group
I
therapy.
know. I'm making fun of myself. Honestly.
Yeah,
Dustin says, "I hope Chris Crack stays." Yeah, I do too.
We all do.
That'd be amazing. I
Very
think he's a huge
resource.
part of SDSU's football's success.
I do think if he does move on, the university is well aware of how important it is to have someone like Chris Crock as a mental strength coach.
Mhm.
Sounds like Ree needs to go back and learn how to be mental health coach. She can talk to the
There we go.
I told her
Then
she
be
should.
married.
That's not
Married
terrible.
to-
I'm not-
or
I'm-
dating. Jesus, married. Wow, I'm jumping some steps.
Pressure.
Sorry,
Woo!
that was yeah. Whoa, I didn't.
Hey, you
There
guys,
you go, Ben.
My
you put it
bad.
on the Christmas
That's my
card that
baby.
way. I was like, well, I guess.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh no, we did.
Oops.
Ariel, what did you do?
Oh, you're gonna blame her? Okay. Yeah.
She did the labels.
Oh, she probably did write them out. You're right.
Would you trust me with labels for Christmas cards? I wouldn't trust me with labels for Christmas cards.
I think Schaefer is a big loss, like Jim points out. Schaefer did a lot of the background work,
Yeah,
the stuff, like a lot of the footwork that people didn't even see. Dude did a lot of legwork.
unglamorous.
Yep.
BS.
There's a reason he got brought with,
But I mean, if you look at this, we've been talking about the opportunity and things like that. Look at what this has done. It's kickstarted the collective getting its poop in a group and going, and McKnight's running it. I think it's going to kickstart some extra funds into the program from the university to make sure we don't lose a step, because I mean, I think we've seen how the impact that having the level of caliber football program we have has had on the university. We just had the record freshman class this year when most schools are losing enrollment. So there could be a lot of good things that come out of this.
Yeah, definitely. Another big loss would be Matt Jacobs, strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard for sure if he's leaving or not, but
it's speculation right now. I don't think anything's been confirmed. It's all speculation that Jimmy's taken most of the guys. I think it's a fair assumption, especially if you've been following. I've been following Washington State a little bit now's portal stuff just to see who they might be looking at, because their starting quarterback is gone, but we've retained everyone that was on our roster other than Mark. So maybe Mark could go there, but I don't know who they would backfill there. They lost a high-profile cornerback today, so there's some stuff to watch there. And then to the coaching staff's point, Jake Dickert, who was the Washington State coach, not Wake Forest, just announced he's taking his entire defensive staff with. So once again, that's going to be a decision Jimmy has to make, and then those guys. But I would say it's safe to say our entire defensive staff for sure is gone.
Yeah, I think Bobbitt's leaving with him. The people at Washington State are not very happy with Dickert, so I don't know exactly what happened in his departure, but it looked pretty terrible online. So maybe you guys know something about that. I don't know.
He had a winning season every year, and in a year they were supposed to be listless. Had them 8-5. I don't know how they could be upset with that, but
apparently they're mad about how he left. That's
they're mad he left for Wake Forest, but to get on an FBS rant for a minute here, that's what happens when you don't have a conference anymore. I texted you guys this. Yeah. How crazy would it be to get in a time machine and go back to the end of 2021 and tell someone, hey, the Washington State coach is going to go 8-5, and then he's going to uproot his entire staff to go take over a 4-8 Wake Forest team because it's going to be seen as that much of an upgrade. But that's what happens when you don't have a freaking conference. And I get they have one now. The Pac-12 has rebuilt, and it's a high-end G5 conference, and it is a good opportunity for Jimmy, obviously. But as far as Washington State fans being pissed Dickert's leaving to go take a true P4 job, I don't get that. That's just not being honest with themselves, I would say.
I do want to put out there as well, Sam Herder retweeted an article on ESPN. If you think going FBS or G5 somehow solves the issue of coaches leaving or players leaving because of the portal and NIL and all that,
example.
Read that article. when Jerry Kill was at New Mexico State, they were taking away the free coffee for the head coach. That's how dire their budget it was. It's crazy how the G5 is not some, oh, we're FBS, we're not going to lose players. No, you're going to lose more players. And money's even
Just
more important and more difficult to come upon. That's why you got to go to the right situation, the right conference. And we don't have to get into that, but if you believe that all of a sudden waving the FBS wand makes this go away, then I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to read that article.
I mean, it's a problem for every school outside of like the top 10 schools in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Literally, you never get away from it. So,
and I even go so far as to say top 8.
Yeah, if you're not top half of the SEC or Big Ten, this is an issue for you.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I think we beat that horse. We're over an hour.
We're over an hour. Yeah, we've done the deed. We are.
Ben's put his time in, guys.
We'll probably
better punch out.
We can't make Ben. We can't afford Ben's overtime rate.
Exactly.
We actually donated all that to the NIL Collective, so all shows will actually stop at an hour now.
Right.
Matt's not willing to pay overtime anymore.
Thank God.
No more overtime.
Scare Money Don't Make Money shows only go half hour. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start drinking Jim Beam. The tragedy.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure once we hear about the new coach, we'll do a pod or two on that, and and some of the player news too. We'll
maybe we can get him on.
Hey, you might be able to. Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Always a chance that we bring on a former player too.
Yep.
You know, keep your eyes peeled on the Twitter twatter and whatever. Sorry.
Anyway.
And be on the lookout for Alex's sexy calendar.
Yeah. We'll have that for sale on the JI website in no time.
We'll try to get her out by end of January here, I guess. I got some planning to do, I suppose.
I think the cover photo should be just Alex's hairy leg with fishnets on, like up to his knee.
No, I think one of them has to be a recreation of the Brendan photo.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
I'd like that.
Yeah, I think one has to be that. Maybe
one
December,
dumping water over
December
his head.
where it's
there we go.
A red, white, and blue bikini.
We'll have to open it up for suggestions on Twitter.
Oh gosh!
And you have to pick the month for your idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Alex lost the bet. One of them would have to be Alex ruining the Kenkel model, like smashing a computer or something.
We got to have one where Alex is posing with the mayor of Vermilion.
Yeah,
he needs the cover photo should make it where he's got short shorts and it's a huge sign that makes it look like it doesn't have anything, and it says "My model sucks."
The Kenkel model. Ideas. The Kenkel model.
Yeah, the Kenkel model calendar.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hopping on. We'll see you sometime soon. As Jim says, as we always say, go big, go blue,
go
Jack.